Therapeutic Goods Administration is investigating reports dodgy retailers have been selling repackaged RA tests despite significant penalties against that. And in Sydney, 3 men have been arrested. This has just come through tonight as inquiries continue into the theft of rapid antigen test kits. They went into a warehouse in Mascot and took 42,000 of them. Cara, this is despicable. This whole overpricing of rapid antigen tests, and there are some retailers who pin the access to rapid antigen tests to customers who spend more than $150.
Look, it is an issue I get really angry about. I paid $90 for a kit with 5 tests a few weeks ago.
That's a good price.
Well, that's still price gouging because at the time, most retailers were selling them for around $50 or $50-something dollars, but I just couldn't find it anywhere else and I needed to take one for an appointment. So I think people are obviously playing on people's desperation here. I think the real anger should lie with the government that didn't have the foresight to predict that these tests would be needed when they were being widely used overseas, and that we could have used them a lot earlier here as well, instead of forcing people to have PCR tests unnecessarily.
Or finding people if they were found with them.
Exactly.
Like in WA.
I think these people who've been arrested, if they're found guilty, throw the book at them because there's a maximum $888,000 penalty. Use it. That will put people off. But also, in terms of this cafe that you mentioned that's giving people... RAT's become the new steak knives, it seems.
Yeah, it is the new steak knife. And a rapid antigen test to go with it. So, Tania, I'm just thinking... Surely it should never have gotten to this point. You see, I just think, and I said this at the beginning, if you're giving away PCR tests for free for 2 years, why can't you do the same with the more mobile portable test kit?
Well, Morrison's not responsible for the individual criminal activities that we're reading about, but he is responsible for the fact that he hasn't adequately secured a supply of rat tests for the Australian public.
And the states and territories,
he hasn't done so. Well, that's right, but he hasn't done so because he's essentially ideologically opposed to viewing these tests as an essential health service. He sees them as a commodity. And it's that sort of dogmatic mindset that Morrison has that has really laid the groundwork for what essentially is a black market. That's what's happening to the rapid tests right now. They're the flavour of the month on the black market. And I think he hasn't read the room on this either, because overwhelmingly the majority of Australians want these tests free. And he's failed to do that. It's appalling reading these stories. They make all of us very, very angry. And we know that as we go back to school and as workers go back to their businesses, people need to have these tests, and they need to have a proper supply of these tests. And they should be viewed as an essential health service, and they're not at the moment.
We've got a black market because they're not free. But having said that, supply and demand can create a black market even when they are free. Anyway.